Dungeons & Dragons is not a good starting RPG. You just think it is because it was your first one.
Faithfuls Network presents
Cowabummer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cowabummer. I'm your host, Jay the Archfey. And if you're wondering, Jay, what is this? This doesn't really seem like a collector-focused conversation, which was what Cowabummer is. You're wrong. And here's why you're wrong. It is collector-focused for two reasons. One, I collect TTRPGs. And two, Mythic Legions is going to come out with an RPG next year, and I want to talk about it because a lot of toy collectors are going to try that for the first RPG, and it might turn them off to it. Now, what are my credentials to qualify what makes a good starter TTRPG and what doesn't? You're probably wondering. Well, I can tell you, simply put, I used to teach people how to play RPGs. I had a whole side show on Chaos Brigade that was literally called RPG Academy. I have a YouTube channel, YouTube videos, RPG Academy, same title. I kind of stole it. And I taught people how to play every RPG I collected. And I think I did an okay job. They all seemed to like it. So in my 2-3 years of teaching people how to play TTRPGs, the hardest one to teach is the Star Wars RPG. But after that is actually Dungeons & Dragons. Now, Dungeons & Dragons, specifically 5th edition. I have never played 3.5. I've never played Pathfinder. I've only ever played 5th edition D&D. I haven't even tried the new 5th edition. I stick with the 2014 rule set because that's what I learned, and that makes sense to me, so it's easier for me to explain. But when you're introducing people to it, it's a lot. It's really confusing. I actually got into D&D in like 2018, but I didn't play my first game until 2019 because I couldn't figure it out. Now, if you want physical proof that this shit's kind of hard to pick up, but still fun even if you're not picking it up, but hard to pick up, I did an episode of Toy Power. My only episode on there. Haven't been invited back because I made him play D&D. No, I'm kidding. I got them to play D&D. Now, I gave them options. I said, look, D&D is kind of hard. If you want to try Monster of the Week, which I'll get into in a second, that is a better option. And they said, no, let's do D&D. It's fantasy. We've got our minis. Let's do it. And I said, okay, here's your cheat sheet. I remember I sent in the cheat sheet. One of them, I don't remember who. They look at it, they go, I thought you said it was a cheat sheet. This is like 3 pages. I said, yes, you're level 3 and you got 3 pages of cheat sheet. Now, maybe that's on me for overstimulating them with a level 3. Maybe I should have stuck to level 1. But the problem with D&D, and this is another reason why it's not a good starter RPG, is when you're playing D&D, if you start at level 1, there's nothing to do. You get like maybe 5 spells. If you're a fighter or something, you get to hit people once. The abilities are next to nothing. D&D doesn't pick up and get really fun for me and for most people I've played with until you pick a subclass. So if you're like, hey, everybody, come play D&D, let's try to learn it first edition, they're probably going to get bored. I got bored. My first game was first edition. My options in combat were I hit a thing or I hit a thing, right? Level 3, you at least get some wiggle room. Your character kind of starts to get their personality a little bit better. Episode I'm on for Toy Power, by the way, is episode 359. If you're going to go listen to it. Anyway, so I've been teaching people how to play Dungeons & Dragons for a long time. I've been teaching people how to play RPGs for a long time. And I have learned Dungeons & Dragons is not it. Now, why is Dungeons & Dragons not it? Let me tell you. I want you to find somebody who's never played D&D and hand them a character sheet and say, figure this out. The answer is they're not going to be able to do it, right? They can't. It's so confusing, right? Even with the books, it's so confusing. Now, to be fair, I have a reading disability, so maybe that's why I struggled with it when I first tried to learn it. But that shit is difficult as fuck. They can't just sit down and figure it out. You have to sit with them and slowly teach them how to make a character. Now, that's true for just about every RPG, but with D&D, that can take hours. Usually 2 to 3. I'm going to be honest. Maybe I'm a bad teacher. Again, I don't know, right? Now, that's 2 to 3 per character. Let's say you want to start a game with 4 new players. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 hours just to make characters. By the end of it, no one's going to want to fucking make a character anymore, right? Shit takes forever. Now, maybe that's an over-exaggeration. It probably would only take 2 or 3 hours, but still, you get my point. There's so many choices, there's so many options, and while that's great creatively if you know what you're doing, jumping into D&D and going, okay, what races do I have? And having like 30 options. What classes? You have like 15, 16? That's all probably also an over-exaggeration. And then you get into the math of it. Okay, so you got to roll for a skill check. You got to roll your ability plus your modifier plus the dice plus advantage plus this plus that. It gets really confusing. And when you're trying to introduce somebody to something, your first objective should not be to confuse the fuck out of them because that's not going to work. That's not going to fly, right? And it kind of sucks because D&D 5e is like the basis for most RPGs now. 5th edition is the most commonly used RPG system. The Hellboy RPG, 5e. The Mythic Legions RPG I'm about to talk about, 5e. Now, there are a lot of RPGs out there, right? Like I said, I've played a bunch. I've named a bunch before. If you're going to teach somebody how to play an RPG, pick a 2d6 system. Best example I have in my personal life is I had a bunch of people over for my roommate's birthday. And my roommate, I've gotten her really into Doctor Who, and she wanted, and so one of my plans for her birthday was to do a Doctor Who one-shot. I sat down with the players. I made a little video. That's why the Doctor Who video is on this YouTube channel, and it was so rushed because I was running out of time before the birthday. But one of her friends had never played an RPG before. Not once. Never touched it. None of that. She'd done like text RP, but that is not the same as a TTRPG. And so I sat down with her, and one of our other friends who just didn't have time to watch the video, and we made their characters in like 20 minutes. Right? I sat down. I was like, this. Cool. All right. Now let's start rolling dice. We start playing the game. 2d6, add this, add this. Doctor Who, honestly, is a good RPG if you want to transition people into D&D, because you still have to add the two skills together plus the dice roll. But it's just less content in general. It's very broad. It lets you be creative. It lets you be your own person without bogging you down with 18 million rules on how to do it. Now, you can go too broad. City of Mists, that shit's so fucking broad. I'm not a huge fan of that RPG. Also, as a player, there's not as much to do, but sue me. It's not my thing. If I'm going to introduce people to RPGs, my go-to is either Worldwide Wrestling or Monster of the Week. Now, the difference is, I look at a person, I go, are they here to RP or are they here just to try combat out? If they're here just to try combat out, Worldwide Wrestling. It has a touch of the RP, right? You can cut a promo, you can do a backstage segment before your match. But the main thing is roll the dice, calculate if you hit the person right, move on to the next thing. But there's still that like role play of combat. Because when you're playing D&D, a lot of the time you'll get players who are like, okay, I hit the guy. 6. I'm done. It's like, no. You got to sit there and be like, to really get into the game and enjoy it. For me, again, personal experience, you got to be able to sit there and go, I walk up and I stab my sword into their shoulder and I twist it and they like fall over to the left and then I punch them with my right hand and right. With Worldwide Wrestling, if you go, I punch them. Cool, their turn. I punch them. Cool, that's boring as shit. It's wrestling. You got to like, let me tell you something, brother. Fuck Hulk Hogan. You got to like be there. You'll be like, I pick him up, I suplex him, I DDT him, I grab him by the neck and I do a run around on the ropes and then I jump off and I drape them across the top rope, clotheslining them so they can't breathe, right? So when I have players who are very much like not comfortable in combat, that's why I start with Worldwide Wrestling. Get them comfortable in combat, then they can get their personality together for RP. Also, by the way, if you're ever running Worldwide Wrestling and you have a collection of wrestling action figures, use that. For one of my birthdays, I had a Worldwide Wrestling one-shot. And a lot of the players hadn't watched wrestling. So I handed them each, I let them pick an action figure for my collection, anything that was in scale with the wrestling ring. And so anytime they were like, okay, I want to attack them, they wouldn't know the name. So I'd be like, oh, the guy goes to suplex you. They'd be like, what's a suplex? I know that's like basic. Everyone knows what a suplex is, but it's the example I'm using. So I take the action figure and I go, whoop, whoop, like this, throw. And then they go, okay, so I just got thrown. They take the action figures and go, I roll through and I put them in a chokehold. And then they pose in a little chokehold. So you're playing with little action figures and also you're role playing. So Worldwide Wrestling, it's great. It's also super simple. It's a 2d6 system and it's so many RPGs need to do this if they want to be accessible. It's a checklist. You sit there and go, I can pick 2 abilities. Do I want to be better at grappling or hitting? Okay, checkbox, great. I have +2 to my hitting. Do I want to have the ability to turn any match into a hardcore match or make any all the weapons disappear out from under the ring? I don't know. Check mark. Okay. Right. And that's why Monster of the Week is also good. If I have people who are more into like the role play and the like better at being descriptive, I'll bring them in with Monster of the Week, because Monster of the Week, again, it's checklist. Do you want a shotgun and 3 stakes? Do you want a pistol and some holy water? Right. Check. Okay. You pick the magician class. It's not magician. It's like called magic or something. Okay. Do you want to be able to speak with dead magic, light magic? Check. It's simple. I can literally set people down and go, fill out this checklist. If you have questions, ask me. And then I sit there and I wait for someone to go, would it be better for me to want to fuck the fish or kill the fish? And then I go, oh, that actually did happen. Somebody picked the race that wants to fuck the monsters and their monster was side on. And they go, from Zelda. They go, check. Perfect. So sitting people down, handing them a checklist, and then saying, let's RP. And then, again, because Monster of the Week's also not high combat. It's a lot of, like, I shoot them and run. Because in Monster of the Week, if you sit there and try to, like, fight one-on-one, like it's Lord of the Rings, you're going to get crushed. Because Monster of the Week is not about fighting. It's about surviving. It's a survival RPG, let's be real. So when I introduce people, I say, okay, are you more interested in roleplay or combat? And then I pick wrestling or Monster of the Week. And we go from there. Because again, handing somebody a checklist to fill out, boop, 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 and then being like, okay, now focus on your character personality. It's a lot better than going, roll 46, chop the lowest number, add it together. Okay, do that 5 more times. Okay, now take the now add these modifiers. Now add those modifiers to these abilities. Now add your proficiencies to these ability modifiers. Now pick your gear. Now add your gold. Now do this, go, move, backgrounds. It's too much information at once. I think so many people have genuinely never played an RPG because D&D is so overwhelming. Now, with media nowadays making it more popular, like fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a show other than Stranger Things because it gets too much credit, but that's the only thing I can think of, so maybe it's enough credit. I just fucking hate Stranger Things. That was negative of me, I'm sorry. People are more willing to sit down and try to figure out D&D. But I think if you genuinely want to get your friends into a TTRPG, you gotta sit down and give them something simple. Start low. It's like if you wanted to teach a kid card games and you open with poker and not like Uno or something. Now, what does this have to do with the Mythic Legions RPG? Well, to put it simply, Mythic Legions is a toy company done by 4 Horsemen. I've tried to collect them. I didn't like it. I know that's a hot take. It's just every Mythic Legions I have bought broke in my hands even after I heated it up. The paint would scuff. It wasn't good. Maybe I'll give them another try sometime, but right now, financially, I can't afford them anyway. So Mythic Legions, not for me. However, an action figure-themed TTRPG and the lore of their world, I like that. I like the world building around Mythic Legions. It's just the actual figures I don't really fuck with. I'm also not a customizer, and they're definitely built more for customizers. You should listen to the Euro Legions podcast, though. They do a lot of deep dives into the Mythic Legions and the people who customize in the community, and it's really interesting. I like listening to their podcast. I just don't actually collect the figures. The Mythic Legions is coming out with a TTRPG, and I'm going to put it on the screen so we can see it. We chat. And this is it. This is the Mythic Legions TTRPG. It's by the 4 Horsemen, and it is D&D 5e. Now, I have seen a lot of action figure collectors who have never played RPGs being like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to learn how to play. It's 5e. It's the one everybody does. It's accessible. Guys, I need you to listen. You're going to have a blast playing this. It's going to be awesome. 5e is complicated. Sorry, there was a loud noise outside. That probably was a weird cut, but I literally couldn't remember what I was saying. So, Mythic Legion is going to be 5e. 5e is complicated. You will have fun if you power through it. My advice to any action figure collector, any toy collector, any Mythic Legions fan, because some people just do Mythic Legions, they don't collect anything else. If you want to play this RPG right here, this one, how does my camera work? This one? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Find somebody who knows how to play D&D, have the patience with them to sit down and talk you through this, and do it that way. Because if you try to figure this out yourself, you will probably get overwhelmed. Again, it's not like D&D is for the greater intelligent people. Like, no, there are RPGs that are for smart people. I don't play any of them. But it is more complicated, and it is easy to get overwhelmed with D&D. I don't know how many races or classes Legions here is going to have. So maybe it'll be smaller options, so it'll be easier. But the actual system itself will still be complicated. Those books are thick for a reason. There are a lot of rules. My advice to you, find somebody who knows how to play 5e, who's been playing 5e for a long time, sit down with them and have them help you figure it out. You don't have to have them DM for you. If one of you wants to DM somebody in your little collector group, that's fine. But this shit, there we go. It can be overwhelming. And I really don't want people to back this, get it, and then never play it because they get overwhelmed. I sit down, figure it out. There are YouTube videos that'll help you. There are content creators out there who help you. You probably have a friend who plays D&D who would love to help you. If this is going to be your intro to RPGs, please play it, enjoy it, have a good time. Just remember, it's 5e. It can be complicated. There are easier RPGs out there if you want to start with those and then jump into this. All right. First things first, 4 Horsemen, some of the best sculptors out there, if you can tell by this. They have come up with the Kickstarter for the Mythic Legions TTRPG. We go back to their website. It is 5e based. What is Mythic Legions? It's set in the realm of mythos. Mythic Legions is an original fantasy setting with heroic legions of light struggle to protect their world from the evil legions of dark, work to summon their ancient gods after an age of banishment. Dyslexic person reads the description. Now, this is why I want it, right? I don't really care too much about the figures. I love lore. I grew up with Narnia, Lord of the Rings, all that. I love world-building stuff. So when somebody comes up with an original concept, I want to support that. I think they're doing books for Mythic Legions. I don't read well, so I probably won't be able to get those. So this is going to be how I consume their lore and show my support. Because I love original fantasy works. I'm tired of getting spoon-fed the same thing over and over again. I like this. This is why I'm on board. The role-playing game for the Kickstarter, as I said, we'll still work at the particulars, but we'll be offering to the Kickstarter Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. However, we can reveal that since fully modular action figures started with the Mythic Legions franchise back in 2014, new RPG's initial offering will absolutely include figures, not only awesome edition of Mythic Legions toy lines, but also fully usable for part of the new game. That's the big thing with this game. Will it be hard? Our goal with Mythic Legions role-playing game is to make it easy, fun to play, both seasoned gamers and those who are new to RPGs. For that reason, we've picked 5e 2014. It's harder than some people give it credit for. Maybe I was just bad at learning, though. What makes it unique? You can use your action figures for it. Now, they don't specify really how. I'm assuming it's just you use your figures on the battle map instead of minis, but that's still cool. I originally, when we were doing Chaos Brigade, tried to see if I could get into Legions so I could customize to make the Chaos Brigade characters, but Legions are expensive and I'm bad at customization. They haven't released a lot of information about it, just that it's 5e, but like modified to fit their world. I'm excited for this. I will probably be backing it. I just want to state that 5e can be overwhelming. So yeah, that's the Legions RPG. It's going to be another fantasy RPG. There's a lot out there. If you're not interested in Mythic Legions and you're not really into fantasy, I have a whole list of RPGs I can recommend you. Like I said, Worldwide Wrestling is phenomenal. It's a good, fun wrestling RPG. It's kind of relaxed. You and your friends just kind of get around, have some beers, beat the shit out of each other. Monster of the Week. Imagine if Supernatural was an RPG, or Scooby-Doo even, if you wanted to go simpler. It's super easy to pick up, super easy to learn. I'd highly recommend it. If you're into video games, Fallout has an RPG, Cyberpunk has an RPG. I have not played either of them. I do own the Fallout one. I just haven't played it. If you're into action figures, but you're not really into the fantasy thing, like I said, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers all have an RPG that's like compatible. You can be a Power Ranger in the Transformers world fighting the G.I. Joes if you want to. That's also one I'd highly recommend. If you want deep dives into any of these on how to make the characters, let me know in the comments. I'll happily make a video about it. I might even make a video on how to make a 5e character just so people can get ready before the Legions one comes out. Then again, there's a lot of videos out there on how to make Mythic Legions characters. Oh, video game people, also Bunkers and Badasses, like the Borderlands game, is an actual RPG as well you can get. But there's a lot of things. I will say, Mythic Legions customizers, get ready. When this game comes out, people are going to want customs of their characters. Y'all are going to make bank making customs. Save your parts. Save your stuff. Get ready for the hailstorm that's going to be. Could you make my level 3 Snake Lady Wizard? I don't know the races. I do hope that all of the races are playable in this, even the bad ones. Because Mythic Legions has a lot of really cool animalistic monstrous races that I'm really into. So, that sounded sexual. Not in that way. They got minotaurs, they got the lion people, they got the fucking snake people, they got everything, right? So if it's just going to be elves and humans and like they're orcs, that's going to be disappointing. But if I could play a Mythic Legion skeleton, shit's going to be fire. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any RPG questions, let me know. If you want me to make any videos on how to make characters or play any certain RPG, let me know. Sorry again, this was a short one. I've had a long 2 weeks, and I've got another video I got to crank out in a second. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one, and I hope your week is not a Cowabummer. Toodles!